When the nation is on fire, you can count on the Constitution and the states it serves. The wisdom of the Founding Fathers came not from within, but from the Creator Himself. We are here today to seek His wisdom and His guidance in restoring the freedoms He granted to all of us. Join us today in the battle for your faith, your family, and your future. This is the truth.
Welcome, Patriots, to another episode of The Truth. I'm John Williams.
And I'm Steve Hopkins. And this is the unaltered, unbridled, unfiltered truth that you will not get anywhere else. Hey, John, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Steve. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while. We just had some conflicts we had to work through, busy schedules, working guys.
Right. Working for a living.
Whew.
That's all right. Well, a lot has happened in the world since we did our last episode, and some pretty some events that have never happened in our country before, like a former president being raided by the FBI.
Oh man, I got to tell you that set me off that night when I saw that, because that's something that's never happened before, and I think everybody in America knows that it was a fishing expedition trying to find something to keep him from running.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things about that bothers me. Number one, if they knew he had, you've heard the conspiracy theories, he was giving nuclear codes to Russia and by the way, the Democrats would be the ones that would do that, because supposedly Trump was the one colluding with Russia. But as it turns out, and we all knew this all along, it was the DNC colluding with Russia against Trump. But,
right.
Why did they wait 18 months if they thought he had classified documentation? Why didn't they just ask him for it back if they thought he had it?
Right, because we know now that he was cooperating all along. They had been in to inspect the safe where he was keeping the documents and all that kind of stuff. So I think we're going to see a Fourth Amendment motion to quell a lot of this, and hopefully it'll stand up. And if not, then there'll be challenges.
Yeah, and this is not just with Trump. My dad, I'll tell you a little story. My dad had a tax client one time that I remember I was in about 10th grade, and we showed up at my dad's office one morning, and an FBI agent started jumping out of the bushes at his accounting firm. They were there to seize all the records, related to this client. And they kept this guy's stuff. They raided his office in South Haven, and they kept all his office furniture, his files. I mean, they emptied the place out, kept all of it for 7 years, and never charged him with anything.
Wow.
And it's just, so my point is it's not like this is just a Trump targeted thing. The FBI does this a lot to a lot of people.
Right.
And it's, whether we like it or not, it appears as if we're living in a police state.
Right. You go all the way back, and I'm sure you remember Catherine Engelbrecht.
Yeah.
And everything that started back then. They actually sued the state of Mississippi over the McDaniel versus Thad Cochran race.
Yeah.
So the IRS targeted them and other conservative groups, and this was all the way back at 2014.
Yeah. And it's, and I saw a meme on Facebook that I thought was very fitting, and, it was meant to be humorous, but, the list of people that haven't been targeted for raids by the FBI, the Clintons. I mean, it was 33,000 emails in her basement server.
Yeah. I love the one where it said the Clintons and all of them were marked safe from the FBI,
right.
But everything. But speaking of the IRS, I brought that up. 87,000 new agents.
It is amazing that I hear the way they try to twist things and saying, oh, this is not going to increase the tax burden on the average taxpayer. And I ran across an article that was published in 2019. It was a study of the number of IRS audits in every county in America. And it turns out the national average for IRS audits is 7.7 per 1,000 filings. And there was a map in this article. I might be able to share the link in the comments or something after the episode, but it showed a map of the country by county, and it showed in shading different shades and colors of the counties that were above the national average. And it looked to me like the counties, at least in Mississippi, the ones I'm familiar with, the poorest counties in Mississippi had the highest audit rates.
Wow.
And yet the wealthy liberal counties in America had audit rates way below the national average. And so for them to sit there and say that adding 87,000 IRS agents is not going to increase our tax burden is bogus. If the poorest people in America are the ones that have the most audits.
So like that county in Virginia, right by Washington, D.C., what's that county?
Loudon County.
Loudon County,
yeah.
The richest county in America.
Yeah.
And they've been marked safe from the IRS.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at the map, all of the suburban counties around the state capitals in each state, way below the national average.
Well, that's where all the lobbyists live.
Like, come on, people. I mean, how long do we keep putting up with this crap till we put our foot down and say enough's enough?
Hey guys, let me throw in a little plug here. I am a state representative in Mississippi and a proud member of the Mississippi Freedom Caucus. If you haven't signed up yet, this is a lot of the stuff you'll learn from the emails that the Freedom Caucus sends out. Go over to freedomcaucus.ms and sign up for the emails so that you can stay informed. And we're working on other things, John. We're going to be doing some other videos to help educate people, but you need to stay in the loop on what's going on. Education is power, not the kind of education that you get in the schoolhouse. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're doing some good stuff, but we're talking about educating the average citizen on the political system, on the Constitution, on what protects them.
And what did Mark Twain say? Never let your schooling interfere with your education.
Right.
Yeah. We're going to give you the information you need to know to get involved. And, it seems, Steve, that we have a lot of people that show up to vote, and information is hard for them to get, or they just don't have time to get in. And so they just vote for the guy that's already in office. And
they know who they know. And that's so sad. I've heard people when I've gone to vote, ask their spouse, who we voting for again? They don't really know. Guys, please vote for policy, not for person.
Well, we're going to do a series of episodes where we present websites and information to people that will make it easy for you to find out how your elected officials voted. If you want to, dig, you may not, have a lot of time, but we're going to give it to you in black and white, where you can go and look at the information yourself and become a more informed electorate and vote accordingly.
Amen. You know what else caught my eye this week was fentanyl pills.
Steve, let me tell you, let me tell you something that just blew my mind. I was at an event a couple of months ago, and the Sheriff Mark Lamb is one of the Arizona county sheriffs that's on the southern border. And he was telling me that the fentanyl, I guess like the powder version, a lot of people don't like needles. We think of, heroin users, and you got to shoot up with a needle or whatever. And a lot of people don't like that. And he was telling us that they've now come out with these new blue fentanyl pills. And they're marked with like a B38 or something. I forget what he said, but he was telling me, and I'm going to quote some numbers, but don't hold me. These are estimations, but he said something like in 2017, that his county in Arizona seized like 200 of these fentanyl pills. And in 2021, they seized like 20 million. And there was an article that came out on Fox News last night that, and I've heard that these pills are being produced in China, and the drug cartels are just shipping them across the border, being paid. I don't know if China is behind making them. I have no idea, but obviously the drug cartels from Mexico are responsible for shipping them across our open border. But they are now making these blue fentanyl pills in rainbow colors that look like Skittles. And in July alone, this past week, an article came out by the Customs and Border Patrol that in July alone, they seized enough fentanyl to kill every human in America 1.5 times.
Wow. That's insane.
And that's just what they seized. That's just what they caught.
So that leads me back to our prior conversation about all these IRS agents. Instead of 87,000 new IRS agents, I'm hearing the echo in my headphones. So that's why I'm stuttering. Instead of that, how about just 8,000 new border control agents?
Yeah. And if you've in 1 month have smuggled, and we probably seize what, 5, maybe 10% if we're lucky of what actually comes across the border, and what we seized is enough to kill every American in 1 month. We seized that much. That's not recreational drug use. No. That is a targeted attack on the children of America.
That's cartels declaring war on the United States.
Yes. And I don't know why no one's talking about that. Why is, I like Tucker and all that, but why are we not just raising 7 different kinds of what about this open border? This is war. It's what there was enough fentanyl pills that came into America last month to kill way more people than 9/11 did.
Right.
Why do we not as a nation have more of a sense of urgency? What's it going to take? Do we entire college campuses just start dying off before we wake up? And
that's critical, and that's something that's got to be addressed. And speaking of something that's not talked about until the liberals decide that, now we'll talk about it. Did you hear this story about the NIH?
I heard something about the Wuhan lab.
Yeah, what's
lab. What's going on with that?
And the NIH has decided to withdraw their, I don't know, it's funding or no award for funding that they've removed from the Wuhan lab because they weren't getting information back to NIH in time. Now, how long have we been screaming this?
Yeah, we were all conspiracy theorists last year and the year before, and now they're finally admitting that the truth.
I think we should demand reparations for everybody that was called a conspiracy theorist.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Maybe we could, in fact, I saw if they want to find our money, if the IRS wants to audit somebody, they need to go audit the half of or the however many hundreds of billions of dollars we've sent in hush money to the Ukraine. Because that's about all that is hush money.
Oh my gosh. That's a whole episode right there. Speaking of which, we've enjoyed catching up with you guys and bringing you some of the current news as well as the real truth. Right, John?
That's right. So we'll hope you keep joining us in future episodes. We're going to try to mix these up and make some of them fun and some of them educational and some of them current event news like we did today. So we appreciate you guys having us, and we hope you'll join us again for our next episode.
We appreciate y'all.